Alright guys, White Rose again here. I've been beating around the bush, but I'm going to do it now, guys. I'm going to start with a brief history of the Empire, Volume 1 today, and that whole series. It's a book we've all probably come across a couple of times, and we've been too lazy to read it. I know I've been too lazy to read it. I don't feel like reading it. But, we gotta bear down, read it, and, it's important, to understand, like, the history and what's everything going on around here, in the Empire and such. So, it's important to understanding, the lore and all that. So let's get started, because I only have 10 minutes, It's you freaking YouTube. Alright. A brief history of the Empire, Part 1. Before the ruler of Tiber Septim, all Tamriel was in chaos. The poet Trasis called that period of continuous unrest, day and nights of blood and venom. The kings were a pretty lot of grasping tyrants who fought Tiber's attempts to bring order to the land, but they were as disorganized as they were dissolute, and the strong hand of Septim brought peace forcibly to Tamriel. The year was Second Era 896. The following year, the Empire declared the beginning of a new era. Thus began the Third Era, Year of Aught. For 38 years, the Emperor Tiberius reigned supreme. It was a lawful, pious, and glorious age, when justice was known to one and all, from serf to sovereign. On Tiber's death, it reigned for an entire fortnight, as if the land of Tamriel itself was weeping. The emperor's grandson, Pelagius, came to the throne. Though his reign was short, he was as strong and resolute as his father had been, and Tamriel could have enjoyed a continuation of the Golden Age. Alas, an unknown enemy of the Septim finally hired that accursed organization of cutthroats, the Dark Brotherhood, to kill the Emperor Pelagius I, as he knelt at prayer at the Temple of the One in the imperial city. Pelagius I's reign lasted less than 3 years. Pelagius had no living children, so the crown imperial passed to his first cousin, the daughter of Tiber's brother Agnerith. Kintyra, former queen of Silvanar, assumed the throne as Kintyra I. Her reign was blessed with prosperity and good harvest, and she herself was an avid patroness of art, music, and dance. Kintyra's son was crowned after her death, the first emperor of Tamriel to use the imperial name Uriel. Uriel I was the great lawmaker of Septim dynasty, and a promoter of independent organization and guilds. Under his kind but firm hand, the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild increased in prominence throughout Tamriel. His son and successor Uriel II reigned for 18 years, from the death of Uriel I in Third Era 64 to Pelagius II's ascension in Third Era 82. Tragically, the rule of Uriel II was cursed with blights, plagues, and insurrections. The tenderness he inherited from his father did not serve Tamriel well, and little justice was done. Pelagius II inherited not only the throne from his father, but the debt from his latter's poor financial and judgment management. Pelagius dismissed all the elder council and allowed only those willing to pay great sums to resume their seats. He encouraged similar acts among the vassals and kings of Tamriel, and by the end of the 17th year reign, Tamriel had returned to prosperity. His critics, however, have suggested that any advisor possessed of wisdom but not gold had been summarily ousted by Pelagius. This may have led to some of the troubles his son Antiochus faced when he, in turn, became emperor. Antiochus was certainly one of the more flamboyant members of the usually austere Septim family. He had numerous mistresses and nearly as many wives, and was renowned for the grandeur of his dress and his good humor. Unfortunately, his reign was rife with civil war, surpassing even that of his grandfather Uriel II. The War of the Isles in 3rd Era 110, 12 years after Antiochus assumed the throne, nearly took the province of Somerset Isle away from Tamriel. The united alliance of the kings of Somerset and Antiochus only managed to defeat the king Orcam of the island kingdom of Pannonia due to a freak storm. Legends credit the Sigic Order of the Isles of Artanium with the sorcery behind the Tempest. The story of Kintyra II, heiress to her father Antiochus' throne, was certainly one of the saddest tales in imperial history. Her first cousin Uriel, it's a phone ring again every time I read this book. Alright, so where was I? Alright. Let's start, okay. The story of Kintyra... No, that's too much. Her first cousin Uriel, son of Queen Pantema of Solitude, accused Kintyra of being a bastard, alluding to infamous decadence of the imperial city during her father's reign. When his accusation failed to stop her coronation, Uriel bought the support of several disgruntled kings of High Rock, Skyrim, and Morrowind, and with the Queen Pantema's assistance, he coordinated 3 attacks on the Septim Empire. The first attack occurred in the Iliac Bay region, which separates High Rock from Hammerfell. Kintyra's entourage was massacred and the Empress taken captive. For 2 years, Kintyra II languished in an imperial prison believed to be somewhere in Glenpoint or Glenmoral before she was slain in her cell under mysterious circumstances. The second attack was on a series of imperial garrisons along the coast of Morrowind Islands. The Empress's consort Content Aeronix fell defending the forts. The third and final attack was the siege of the imperial city itself, occurring after the Elder Council had split up the army and attacked western High Rock and eastern Morrowind. The weakened government had little defense against Uriel's determined aggression and catapulted after only a fortnight of resistance. Uriel took the throne that same evening and proclaimed himself Uriel III, Emperor of Tamriel. The year was 3rd Era 121. Thus began the War of the Red Diamond, described in Volume 2 of this series. Alright, so that's that. So yeah, we're gonna. I guess the next book we're gonna talk about the War of the Red Diamond. That sounds, that sounds a little bit interesting, So yeah, that'll be the next video. Next time I upload a video, it'll probably be that one. So yeah, thanks for listening, and see you next time.